sessions of the Chaturma series. The first was on Art of Parenting and Chanakya Niti by Dr. Radhakrishnan. We had the second lecture where we had Understanding the Child Psychology with Dr. Avinash. And we also had a Child in the Womb, Parenting Child in the Womb by Dr. Mona. So I'm sure we've gathered a lot of pearls from the wisdom from all these discussions. So I thought, let me just share something more and make it more interesting for all. So today's focus basically is trying to, adopt a lifestyle as a family. Now, most of the times we keep on saying that, you should do things and should try and go out and out and try to be healthy. But what does it really mean to be healthy? Right. So I thought let's focus this as a family, and that makes the huge difference. Okay. So why do we basically need a healthy lifestyle? If we know that, then we will be able to try and adopt, and make modifications accordingly. So first thing that came to my mind was trying to feel good about yourself. Why do I want to be healthy? Right? I want to be healthy because I want to look good and feel good. That's basically, as I said, it's a part of the thought that went into my book also. And that's always that I have felt that the moment you start thinking that you are good in your physical being and in your inner being will definitely create a huge image for yourself, right? So it's not all about feeling just fit, but it is all about feeling good within your own skin. And that's what I mean by self-esteem, self-image, whatever we can put words to that. Right? Second thing, of course, it is like if you aren't fit, you will not start feeling good in your body. So there has to be some amount of fitness, but that fitness doesn't only mean exercise. Okay? The fitness basically also means how relaxed you are. Imagine a person or a child who is going to just sit as a couch potato. Would you like that child, or would you feel concerned about that child? Right? But if you feel that the child is all happy, jumpy, bubbly all around, you will feel okay, this child is more energetic. But if you start seeing the other part of the age group, if you feel that your grandfather is all jumpy and bubbly, you will feel that a concern around that he should keep good health. So we have different ways and different things that we think around different age groups, and we also think around the way the people have to behave in their own age. But imagine when we are trying to adopt a lifestyle, it is universal, right? We don't feel कि इसका lifestyle वैसे होना चाहिए या किसी और का different होना चाहिए. All of us think of a lifestyle in a very different manner. So here, the way I look at my lifestyle basically is trying to feel good within my body and skin, trying to feel good and fitter, trying to feel relaxed in my inner self. And this basically is going to allow me to cope up with the things that I deal with. Over the last 25 years of my work, I have probably, seen at least more than 1,000 women, and probably tried to help them through their pregnancy, their lactation journeys, and have probably achieved a lot of pleasure in doing that. Just why? Because it's not just the physical health that I'm trying to extend, but it is trying to feel what they feel, trying to empathize with them, that how they are going to feel during pregnancy and what is it that is going to make them feel motivated, more learned, more active, and probably take charge of what is happening to them. So, trying to get that is what we can also call it as a healthy lifestyle. Of course, it also means that you don't fall into any kind of chronic diseases or long-term illnesses. That goes without saying. However, so it basically also means that you have a good balance both in your physical self, in your mental self, and beyond. Okay? So what that beyond would be, we will discuss in a few more slides. So what lifestyle in terms of a healthy lifestyle would mean is trying to have a combination wherein our work, our behavior, the kind of leisure activities that we choose to, the kind of social patterns that we decide for people around and for our own self, and that we would want to do repeatedly. Okay? So it's not like, today I want to exercise and tomorrow I'm going to sleep all day. If I'm going to adopt something which is going to be consistent, it is going to become a lifestyle. If I do it for, bits and pieces, it's not a lifestyle. It's just, शौकिया. Like, आज बहुत दिल आया तो मैंने कर लिया. नहीं तो it's not useful. So something that you can repeatedly do basically announces your lifestyle. So, there are these couple of things which when I spoke to people, they started telling me all these things about the lifestyle. So what first comes in your mind is eating right, eating a balanced meal, a balanced diet, a balanced plate, etc. All of this comes as the first and foremost. And that's where, I have my expertise, where I come out of a clinical nutrition background for the last over 30 years. So that basically is something which I can, share even closing my eyes, because I know these are the foods, these are the items which are going to make huge sense, which are going to help a particular person at a particular age with a particular problem, and how they can make differences, minor changes at a time, and see the help that comes to them. Second thing that they said is again, exercise. The third thing, of course, they said no alcohol abuse, no drug abuse, no tobacco. People also said trying to stay stress free. So I'm sure, over the last couple of lectures, we have heard that, be stress free, be available. All of this has been discussed. And of course, a lot of exercise, a good quality sleep, that also probably is called in for a healthy lifestyle. And of course, when I look at myself, I feel, taking a short break is also a healthy lifestyle, isn't it? So there are too many things. So all these probably are, roads that you can choose to a healthy lifestyle, and everybody can have their own pen and paper and thoughts to, kind of define what is a healthy lifestyle for them, right? So what it comes is that lifestyle basically eventually combines the motives, the needs, the wants, and the feelings. So, anything that I think or I do probably will have its own feelings. And probably it's done because I like to do a particular thing, because I want to do a particular thing, and probably I have been adequately motivated to do the same. Right. So that is what a lifestyle basically gets into. And all of this basically has to give you a sense of happiness and peace. Anything that you do is going to give you a lot of tension and probably going to tax you too much will never be, getting as a lifestyle. It will only be you want to just chuck it and go away. But what you want to be and what you enjoy is definitely going to stay permanent and definitely make a difference to your overall being, right? So you have to invest basically in your health. It just doesn't come like that. You have to think through what you like to do and what you can do, and what is the intensity with which you can apply that. And then that kind of investment is going to make you feel healthy, both in your mind, body, and soul. Yeah. So, what the World Health Organization defines health as is like this: it is a complete physical, mental, and social well being. But it is not just merely the absence of disease or infirmity. But the center of disease of control and prevention also is like trying to be a partner to this definition. So, that this is the base of what health could be. However, when I look at health, there is something more that I also see. It's not just mental, social, physical, but it is also spiritual. When I think that I am able to sit through myself, sit with myself, go deep within my heart, and try to, get the energy that it is giving, is in itself huge way that I feel myself healthy. So a spiritual being is always going to stay healthy, and it is able to take care of all the others, the mental, the physical, as well as the social. So, all of this put together definitely is going to make you feel healthy. Yeah. So defining a healthy lifestyle is basically a living which we can enjoy naturally and which promotes well-being for not only me and myself, but for all those who mean to me. Okay. This example I give each time that I speak to an audience, and I have seen that, a family that eats together always stays together. Why? Because eating is just one particular thing which happens day in and day out, right? Right from morning to late in the night. All of us actually eat at least 4 times or maybe more. Right? So each time, if you find that a family is trying to be at the table together, they're trying to, pray together, and they're trying to get this food right in their plate and trying to eat together with a very healthy discussion or a very healthy mindset. Just imagine how this food is going to make a difference to all who are there and to your own self. Right? So science has said, these are very specific things, and there are several studies which have stated this. So you are what your mother ate. And I have known this myself because I have seen through so many mothers who have become pregnant in front of me, who have delivered their babies, and now their babies are probably what, 18, 20 years of age. So I have had this many years of seeing through the same mother who has come to me at a different stage in her lifestyle, probably for herself, for her child, or maybe some adult in their family who required some help around nutrition. So, I've seen this journey, and I can actually, say with conviction that this is 100% the truth. Not just because the studies have said, but also because I have had the experience myself. Okay. So you are what your mother ate. So probably your mother's eating has tried to make a difference in you at a cellular level, right? When your mother conceived, she has done something which has helped you to become what you are today. And forward going after birth, you are what you eat. So if I start eating junk, or if I start eating things which are not right for me in terms of my physical or my mental growth, it is not going to help me. It is going to make a difference eventually. Yeah. So all what I would want to say is that all of this basically influences the baby's learning experience around food. So when you see this diagrammatic representation down here, you would be able to see that during pregnancy, so while the baby is in the womb, maternal diet influences taste. And this taste is because the amniotic fluid in the womb basically has its own taste factor. When the baby is trying to swim through in the amniotic fluid, it is gulping a lot of amniotic fluid while in the womb. And this allows the development of taste at that point of time. If when the baby is born, there are innate preferences specific when it comes to food acceptances. Now, why I say this is, there are some mothers who may like a particular food, and they will probably eat that particular food through their pregnancy time. That's what the baby has tasted. And when the baby is born, the baby has this learned behavior around that particular food. For example, if I didn't like a Karela and I never ate a Karela throughout my pregnancy, my baby doesn't have the taste to that Karela. And tomorrow, if I keep on saying that Karela is not a food that I like, probably even later in life, just because I'm saying that, my baby learns it and my baby realizes that Karela should not be eaten. Probably when she is pregnant and when she is going through her pregnancy, she may still not eat Karela, and that passes on to the next generation. So, do you know what kind of impact this is creating? So, something that we think and we do impacts generations together. Okay. And this is true with every food that happens, with all the food that actually is present in nature. Can you imagine how bountiful the nature is? It has got so much in abundance that it provides. And if you try to think of what food is available in nature, you would fall short of thoughts ki kitna sara khana available hai, right? Right from small things, like a spice or a herb, to something which is so huge as all the cereals, the pulse, the milk, and other food groups, which are going to be creating a lot of benefit to your health in your physical systems. So, there's so much that nature is providing, and how we can participate in the nature being helpful to us via our thoughts and our actions and our consumption is within our own way. It is within our own choice, right? So that's why, I keep on speaking to mothers who come to me, speaking to, in fact, all the patients who come to me, because I'm not just pertaining only to nutrition for pregnancy or nutrition for lactation. I do even diabetes coaching programs. I do other health conditions as well. I actually also treat patients with cancer. So I have had an array of understanding that how food can mean and what kind of difference it can give. No? So when I speak about this, that in the womb there are some learned behaviors that happen around food. Once the baby is born, there is this preference which is coming out typically. But when the baby is 0 to 6 months time, that is the time it is still eating at the mother's breast. Okay, the baby is still taking continuously only expressed breast milk or directly feeding at the breast. So whatever the mother is eating, the baby is still able to relish those items along with the nutrients that come through that. Beyond that time, when we start introducing complementary feeds to the baby along with the breastfeed, that's the time you start introducing simple foods in a way that they are more tastier, and they probably are, you try to allow the baby to taste natural uh, taste of a particular food. So without masking it too much, it is great to give a natural taste. So I'll try and give, carrot as a carrot puree. I will try and give a fruit, probably an orange, just squeezed and maybe, crushed or juiced. I won't want to add sugar and salt and pepper and chaat masala and XYZ things to take the flavor away. I want the child to learn the natural flavor, and that's what the baby will able to, learn, and throughout life appreciate the tastes. And as of course we become bigger, the learning of eating basically starts from the womb, and probably by the time the baby becomes 2 years of age, and by the time then when we start thinking of pausing the breastfeeds, by then the baby is ready to taste the entire array of food that is available in nature. And that's up to how the mother or probably how the family comes together and tries to do this as an activity together. Yeah. So that was what I was wanting to say here. Besides that, science also has said you become healthy only when you keep eating right. Okay. So all this while I have learned the right things to do. But it is necessary for me to comply and to continue the right things that I have learned. Right. So if I stop eating the right foods and I start, learning newer behaviors, and it will definitely happen, right? Come what may, it's not possible that your child doesn't see food which is not going to create a great health. But how much of that is consumed, how it is taken, the way it is taken is all going to make a difference. So one basically also needs to know, along with what to eat, what not to eat. Along with what not to eat, how much of it is going to be okay to eat and how much is going to cause any kind of risk. And of course, we cannot forget the fact that when to eat still has its own charm. Yeah. Because supposing if I start eating soup the first thing in the morning, a lot of mothers may not even think of making soup for breakfast. Right. But if I think that I want to eat maybe a paratha for morning, or probably one of the cereal items for morning, that's a common breakfast that comes around in India, isn't it? But we have also started learning newer eating patterns from the West. Okay, a lot of us also choose ready to eat breakfast cereals. A lot of us choose to eat oats. So I don't want to say that these foods are unhealthy, but these foods basically don't belong to your natural and local place. The food that comes from your own locality, from your own area, from the season that it is grown and it is available, there is going to be much more nutrition that is available from that particular product. Anything that is stored for a long length of time, anything that is shelved or probably packaged will lose its benefits to a larger extent. More than 50% of the nutrition probably is lost in most of these foods. So we think that we are still eating okay. Probably I will eat mango in the season, probably in winter. How does it help me? Correct? If probably I want to eat strawberries in the peak of summer, how does it help me? The body is trained to eat particular foods at a particular time in a particular combination. I'm sure Dr. Nutan and all the students who have attended her sessions will definitely understand how Ayurveda and food run together. And there is so much that we talk about how nature has its own ways of helping the body to accept particular foods, the way it digests, absorbs. All of this is a process. So if we eat the right things with the right uh, at the right time in the right quantity, it is going to be beneficial for all of us, right? And of course it will help us to stay away from all the diseases, probably also keep you feel energetic, all the while. Imagine you eaten so much of the right food and you feel like a couch potato. Do you feel good in your own self? Means I have had, some days when I would just not want to cook. Okay, and I'm sure a lot of us do that. So that particular day also, I'll try to not then go out and eat, a packet of chips. I will try to probably stay off eating, or I will try and just cut a fruit and eat because my body didn't want a particular food. or didn't really want to tax the system to eat larger portions. So, all these are things which your mind and your body will communicate to you. It doesn't just happen. One day, maybe a very good day, I can eat a big meal. The other day, probably my body just doesn't want it. So, the fact remains that we should not be also, tuned to eating in a particular quantity at a particular time. You have to have the ability to listen to your body and probably uh, get the finesse, get the understanding, which will make you appropriately behave around the food. Of course, most of us have a lot of inkling about what are the nourishing foods around. So most of us keep on browsing a lot, and these days there is so much that is available on the net. The problem is that because there is so much, we don't know how much is good for us, and how much of what we really understand from what we take in are we able to really apply in our life is something which we have to learn today, and probably take it ahead in our own lives for our own family. Yeah. So how do we integrate all this knowledge in our life? Is first thing is to learn about nutrition and how it relates to the family at large. Second thing is also basically about learning and understanding ways to nourish ourselves better. Right? If I know of a lot of food, and if I don't know how that food is going to be made to become nourishing to my body, is a challenge. Right? And third thing is, of course, let's pledge together today that let's make this planet a healthier one too. How we can do that is how we learn together and how we apply what we learn together. Yeah? So let me take this 2 minutes to read this phenomena. It's something which is so beautiful and it just occurred to me. So just take this pause and listen to what I'm going to read this, but it's just going to occur to you how this actually works. Okay? So when pregnant, the cells of the baby migrate into the mother's bloodstream and then circle back into the baby. It's called fetal maternal microchimerism. For 41 weeks, broadly we say 40 weeks is pregnancy time, but for 41 whole weeks, the cells circulate and merge backwards and forwards. And after the baby is born, many of these stay in the mother's body, leaving a permanent imprint in the mother's tissues, bones, brain, and skin, and often stay there for decades. Every single child a mother has afterwards will leave a similar imprint on her body too. Even if a pregnancy doesn't go to full term, or if you have an abortion, these cells still migrate into the bloodstream. Research has shown that if a mother's heart is injured, the fetal cells will rush to the site of the injury and change it into different types of cells that specialize in mending the heart. The baby helps repair the mother while the mother builds the baby. How cool is that? Right? Now, I never knew that this phenomena would otherwise happen till I started being a part of this pregnancy and maternal vertical. There was so much that I really read to find these particular pearls of wisdom. So we would always think that the mother is the one who is going to care, nourish, cherish, and nurture the baby. But here, the baby also, in its own small way, is able to help the mother, right? So this is often why certain illnesses vanish while pregnancy. Some mothers probably are not able to eat particular foods. Probably some things that have been happening to them, a lot of acidity coming in. Probably the vision is not clear. Probably they may be having some kind of aches and pains, etc. Some of them vanish during pregnancy, just like magic. Why this should be happening? So it's incredible how mothers' bodies protect the baby at all costs, and the baby protects and rebuilds the mother back so that the baby can develop safely and survive. Things about crazy cravings for a moment. Have you ever experienced somebody telling you during their pregnancy, आज तो मुझे आइसक्रीम खाने का मन हो रहा है, मैं इसके बिना रह ही नहीं सकूंगी, मुझे खाना ही पड़ेगा. There will be some other day when a mother would want to eat something which is very savory. आज बहुत कुछ खट्टा मीठा खाना, आज पानी पूरी खाया जाए. there are, these different cravings, but they rise out of the basic need that the body is having at that point of time. It's not just, a fantasy or a fad. It is stemming out of basic needs that the mother's body has, or probably the baby requires at that point of time. So what was the mother deficient in that the baby made them crave? Probably, there are times if you would have heard some mothers try to eat, things like chalk and probably even paint, pieces of paint. Now, this is not natural to eat, right? Nobody would want to otherwise humanly in a sane mind want to eat such things. But there are mothers in pregnancy who do that. And all these items basically have a lot of calcium in it. So if the body has a deficient amount of calcium, and if you are not actually supplementing and eating the right foods to bring that calcium that is required on a regular day basis correctly, the body will start craving. And then there will be this innate desire to eat foodstuffs which are of this type, which will have calcium. एंड वी विल से नहीं नहीं प्रेगनेंसी में बच्चे के कारण हम कैल्शियम खा मतलब इस तरीके की खाना खाते हैं एंड इस तरीके की क्रेविंग्स आते हैं बट देर इज डेफिनेटली अ साइंटिफिक रीजन बिहाइंड इट so studies have shown cells from a fetus in a mother's brain 18 years after she gave birth. Now this is a long time, right? So there is some type of ingranation that happens. This imprinting that happens stays for a long time, right? And this is again amazing. Okay? So if you are a mom, you know how you can intuitively feel your child even when they are not there. Okay? If I'm sitting here and my child has gone outside, I still know what broadly the child may be doing. This is called a turtle's connection the with the mother. So this is how, there are several ways the connections actually stay. Okay? Somewhere you will find the connection is, front to front. सामने दिखता है वही connection है. Sometimes it is all about the heart that, my heart feels. And sometimes it is both the mental and the spiritual connect with the child. So there are different animals which exhibit this different kind of connections. Yeah? So, well, now there is a scientific proof that moms carry them for years and years even after they have given birth to them. Okay? I find this so beautiful, and that's why I thought I should share this. And this basically relates to how what the mother does, the child benefits from. Probably the child also is a reason to help the mother do certain things which she will benefit from. So there is this, what you say, a very good coercive living that really happens here. And this is true for even food, and this is true for a lot of other things which happen at the mental and spiritual level. Yeah. So what we do is we make the blueprints for the society by virtue of being a blueprint made by our own parents, right? So here what I see, I tried to pull out pictures where I see three generations coming together. So I have my mother, and this is me and my husband maybe, and I have a child. So all of these basically are trying to come together, and there is this imprinting that is happening over the generations. So similarly, it can be both parents or grandparents and parents and children. And here, this is just a pull out. I thought probably we have three generations of the Bachchan family also being there. So broadly, just trying to emphasize the fact that whatever happens, happens for the good, and this good can get continued by our own choice and effort. So ever since or anybody asks, the two things that actually come first and foremost to the mind when it comes to lifestyle is eat right, move right. Correct. So these two things we are definitely going to do. But today what we are trying to do is eating right, trying to learn what we are going to do as far as food, nutrition, and eating is concerned. Okay. So what we want to talk about nutrition here is, as rightly trying to bring to picture is, basically when we want to learn nutrition, what we want to learn would be learning food groups properly. Okay. The food groups that I have just tried to put names here are cereals, pulses, vegetables and fruits, milk and milk products, non-vegetarian food group, nuts, oil seeds, and water. Okay, water does not usually come as a food group, but it is so essential. It's probably something which we cannot miss, cannot forget, and should not. So here, that's what I thought, putting all these five things together, we basically want to know what cereals are, what pulses are, how we combine these foods for better nutrition coming out of it, right? So just to give a little example, what all cereals do we normally eat? Okay, we eat wheat, rice, jawar, bajri, oats, nachni. All of these basically are cereals, and these days a lot is being talked about millets. So what is millet? Millet basically are things which are not rice and not wheat, but they are the other cereals which are your jawar, bajri, nachni, oats, all of these. When we talk of pulses, we have our sabut dale. So we have your chole, rajma, chana. You have your mood, matki, masoor, all of this. And when we talk of dals, it is all the split forms of all these urad, chana, mood, your masoor, even your tur dal. So all of these basically becomes something which is going to give you a lot of energy. Okay? The cereals and pulses is a group where there is a lot of amount of carbohydrate, and it just nourishes you, provides a lot of energy to your overall day's uh, eating. I mean, when you eat all these foods. The second thing that comes into picture is your vegetables and fruits. Now, why do we talk about them? Specifically because they give you good amount of fiber, they provide a lot of variety to your meals, and they actually give you a colored interest on your plate. Yeah. And of course, they have all your vitamins and minerals, which are going to be very, very useful. They play a role of protection in the body. When we look at milk and milk products or the non-vegetarian food group, it's basically going to give you the lot of proteins that your body requires. Okay? And uh, having said this, I also want to emphasize the fact that a lot of Indian diets usually lack protein. Okay? Even the non-vegetarian people still lack proteins, and which is pretty much surprising. Why? Because the quantity that they eat and the quantity of other foods that they eat may not be enough to meet the daily day requirement of protein. Yeah. So we need to understand how much is required and try and work towards how much quantity of food we have to eat in a daily routine to make this happen for ourselves. The last food group, of course, is nuts and oil seeds, because they are going to promote healthy eating and healthy fats coming into the diet. Okay, so all of these put together, if we are able to understand this well, we are definitely going to make a difference in our own kitchens. And what is made in our own kitchens is landing onto our dining table, and that is being consumed by you and your family. So that's how, if we learn nutrition right, it is going to make a difference. Second thing that is important is, once you know these foods, how they are going to be digested once they are consumed. What is the process of absorption, and how once it is absorbed, it is going to be utilized in your body, the assimilation process. If you understand small details about these, you will be able to combine your foods correctly. You will be able to be sure that what you're eating is not going to be wasted, it is going to be utilized for the body. So there are these small things that you should be knowing, that the food that enters your mouth, basically the carbohydrate digestion happens in the mouth, starts in the mouth. Gradually, as it enters your stomach, there are other acids and amylases which start complete digestion of your food. And where there is this acid and all of this combined, and your proteins, your carbohydrates eventually start getting digested. This becomes because there is heat, the kosha, the heat, or whatever we call as agni in the stomach, basically, which manages the digestion process. Okay? Now, once this is happening, gradually as the food starts moving down into your intestine, there are these intestine where there are these villi where all the absorption starts happening. So that essentially, once the absorption happens, it starts getting used to create new cells, to create, I mean, a lot of us understand how vitamins and minerals basically help in the progress and development of different cells in the body. So, whatever you eat basically has to get utilized. That should be a clear thought. Third thing is, of course, we don't want to disrupt any natural metabolic process, right? So continuously, if probably I like to eat only sweet foods and I keep eating sweet foods, there could be a different disaster. But if I am able to eat a balanced meal, there is going to be definite benefit. Same way, if I'm going to give in to my cravings or give in to my aversions, is going to have its own toll on our health. And thirdly, we don't want to land up into any kind of nutrition deficiencies because we don't eat those foods which will provide that. Just giving you a small example, for vegetarians, omega-3 fatty acids is a big challenge. Okay, and this omega-3 fatty acids is a very important thing when it comes to pregnancy. So how do you really eat it? The best source is going to be fish. But if I am a vegetarian, I don't eat it. So if I don't know from what this is available, how do I really make it a part of my diet? Right? So when I talk of omega-3 fatty acids, it is important for me to introduce oil seeds like flax seeds, pill seed, etc., which will benefit uh, me by getting this omega-3 in the diet. So small changes like these, introducing some food items at the right time is what you need to learn and is going to be really helpful. And of course, I don't want to get stressed for anything because that actually takes away all the health, specifically my mental health and my spiritual health. So, broadly, if I don't happen to manage these things properly, there is quite a possibility that I may land up into getting any of these lifestyle diseases. Okay, all these names that I have put here basically are also termed as lifestyle diseases. So, where the lifestyle is faltered, we land up into these diseases, which could be diabetes, could be heart related disorders, can be excessive weight, that is obesity, even cancers of different types, hypertension, name it. So many things basically can come around because of bad eating habits, bad moving habits, lot of stress, poor sleep, poor sleep hygiene, so much of viewing things where you don't really rest your minds completely. So these are things which we can take care of. It's all possible. So I want to discuss only things which are possible. Something which is impossible doesn't come into picture. So trying to just give you a brief idea of what I spoke as food groups and how they lay on a pyramid like this. So when I talked of your cereal and cereal pulse, grains, all of this fall on this lowest rung. Now trying to see if there is a huge pyramid like this and it is placed on a pyramid like this. This is the broadest area of the pyramid, right? So maximum amount of this. So it is saying eat most of this so that you get enough energy, you get enough fiber, you get basic micronutrients coming from the seed. Second thing that comes on the rung of the ladder is your fruits and your vegetables. Now, why these come second is because, as I already mentioned, they play a role of protection. So you also have to eat more of these foods because they will actually provide a lot of taste, a lot of color, a lot of nutrition as well. Right? Now, what you see here on the third rung of the ladder is what you're going to eat moderately. So they are all these protein-rich products. So you don't need huge amounts, but you need the right amounts for your body to function properly. So all of this would have, of course, your egg, chicken, fish, etc. You will have your milk and milk products, probably even your cheese, etc. come in here. Yeah. The last rung of the ladder that you see is the topmost. Okay. So it is the tapering top. So when I say tapering top, this is required in your diet, but it is required in smaller portions. Right? What I mean by smaller portions is we don't require a katori of oil every day to cook. Right? We need only a couple of teaspoons. In the same way, we don't need a burnie full of sugar or a burnie full of salt to prepare our food. We need just pinches in small portions to flavor the food and to cook it right. Similarly, we also don't require a huge amount of spice. Okay, a lot of us otherwise rely on the taste buds to tell whether the food is good or not good. But imagine if it is very spicy, it's not really helping the body. It's only helping and taking care of the taste factor. So all these foods, they all stay on this topmost rung of the ladder where we can eat in portions which are good, which basically provide uh, a taste factor, which provide an interest factor, but it does not become excessive because any excesses in this could be a reason for us to falter in the nutrition. Yeah. So just remember that we enjoy the spices and herbs because they are storehouses of immunity. Okay. Now, what I mean by spices and herbs here is not your lal dhuna jeera powder or a lot of chili and chili flakes. What I mean here is your immunity boosting items which come in from your garlic, which come in from things like ginger. It comes in from your tulsi. It comes from mint. It comes from various herbs, your curry leaves. All of this basically have a lot of nutrition filled in. So if you're able to use these things in smaller portions, see the benefit that they give to your body. Second thing to remember is always stay hydrated. Any kind of dehydration basically cause impoverished digestion, and then everything goes for a toss. So you can choose, of course, water continuously all the time, but water definitely over any carbonated beverage. What I mean by carbonated beverage is all those colas and sodas and all the bottles that we really open, which can rob the nutrition from us. And any kind of distilled liquids means any kind of alcohol, all of these foods which will be alcohol based, which could be even wines, whiskey, etc. They don't help the body, though they are liquid in nature. Yeah. And the best thing that I have learned in the last whatever pandemic time is a lot of people started using these infused water preparations. So that's why I tried to get one picture also. Water definitely cannot be replaced. It is something which you can always take at any point of time. You can change the temperature, sometimes when you wake up in the morning, try and take it warm. In the night time before you sleep, take it warm. It helps your digestion ability, the body to, digest food well. But however, it can never be replaced by anything otherwise. But if you want to flavor your water, sometimes there are people who cannot drink a lot of water. They take very little water. So if you want to remain hydrated with water, you can flavor it with these foods. Okay. So I have tried to put so many things. I have put lime there. I have put some strawberries there. I have tried and put, pieces of watermelon there, some cucumber there, mint leaves there. All of these can actually help and flavor your water, and this flavor can allow you to drink more water. So this is definitely there where you can improve your hydration by doing such things. Okay. Nevertheless, be sure that when you try to hydrate, you don't try to add all the sugar and salt and make this, hydrated but concentrated items with sugar and salt, which probably will not be very useful. Okay. I already mentioned about healthy fats. So this healthy fat basically comes from nuts and oilseed. They don't come from fats which are invisible. Okay. Now imagine you trying to eat ready to eat products. Okay. There is a package of chips. There is a package of maybe toast, some bread, some cookies. All of these foods have got invisible fats. How do you make a cookie without butter? Or how do you make probably chips without oil? So those are all invisible oils. You don't see it, but at times we forget that they have a lot of fat. What we do at home is we try to observe how much visible fat we are using. Yani tel, ghee, or whatever, probably a combination of both, maybe a lot of different kinds of oil, combination of oils, etc. we use for cooking. We are able to control the total amount that we use. But these invisible fat, if they find way in our daily food, probably they are still causing a disbalance in the requirements for the body. Okay. And of course, try to eat a rainbow. So what I mean by a rainbow is like, try and eat a lot of variety where you have a lot of color on your plate. That will definitely provide you with a lot of micronutrients. These micronutrients basically mean your vitamins and minerals coming in from your fruits and vegetables, which color your meals. So above all, ensure that all that you learn today probably you start using in your life as days come on. So let's try and be our example. If I am trying to use a particular understanding, I'm trying to be an example for my kid. So that actually, what to say, inculcates that idea for the future generation. If I'm eating right, I'm trying to present myself with my plate with the right eating components there. And that same thing I'm also sharing with my kid on the same dining table. And we are all eating with relish. If this is happening, you will see that the food will taste better. And when you're eating as a family, it will always be a time where you will stay joyful. So, this basically brings in that bonding, what we call, wherein it comes that food can be used as means to bonding of the family. Probably with this little thought, I thought let's just share more and I can answer if you have any more queries. And we have much more to share here when it comes to small facets of what nutrition is all about. So maybe Dr. Nutan can also tell you about how we are going to take this ahead. And if you have questions, I'll be more than happy to take them. Thank you so much for your patient hearing.
Thank you, Swati ji. It was actually wonderful to have you. Any questions now would be taken, and since it's the last day, it's quite an emotional moment also for all of us. But would love to have questions from the audience right now. Any questions or anything you want to add to the experience, what she has shared? Yeah, so before questions, everybody leaves, the attendance becomes very less because they know that Swati ji has been so clear with the whole concept. They try to leave ASAP. So can we have a nice picture by everybody switching on their cameras today? I'll be able to take it. So Arya has a question. Yes, we will surely take it up after the picture. So can we all have everybody's picture, please? Yeah, already Rabia ji is smiling. Sri Vidya ji is smiling. Yes. Can we have more smiling faces, those who have brushed today? That's the way I tell everybody to switch on the cameras. Shifali has a good way of, showing that I'm still on the camera because her profile pic is like,
yeah.
Great.
Like she has open camera, right?
Yeah.
Very smart.
She has brushed for sure.
Brushed. Yeah.
All right, let's take a picture. 1, 2, 3, and smile. Another one, please, on the different page. Yeah, so we'll take up the questions now. Arya has a question.
Yes, Arya.
नमस्ते मैम, मैं एक्चुअली कर्नाटक की हूँ बट मैं हैदराबाद में रह रही हूँ. ओके, सो मुझे किस टाइप का फूड खाना है? मतलब मैं कर्नाटक बेस्ड मेरा हम लोगों का अलग रहता है, हैदराबाद में अलग रहता है. सभी मैं कहाँ पर हूँ उस टाइप का खाना है कि मेरे मतलब मेरी मदर वो सभी खा रहे हैं उस टाइप का खाना है, वो थोड़ा मुझे कंफ्यूजन होता है. मतलब उस टाइप का फूड तो इधर ज्यादा नहीं मिलता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वेजिटेबल्स ओ मिलेट्स वो सभी ना उधर मिलता है, इधर नहीं मिलता है. सो कैसे करना है वो एक डाउट था.
करेक्ट. सो वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन आर्या, क्योंकि मैं ये एम्फसाइज कर रही थी कि लोकल खाना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. बट द फैक्ट स्टिल रिमेन्स कि आपने वो वाली चीजें ऑलरेडी खाई हुई हैं, आपकी बॉडी को उसकी आदत बनी है. इट्स नॉट कि सडनली बॉडी ने जो करा है वो फॉरगेट हो जाता है. तो अगर आप उस तरीके का फूड प्रोक्योर कर सकती हैं जो कर्नाटक बेस है यहाँ भी, इट विल स्टिल बी डाइजेस्टेड. इट्स नॉट कि वो डाइजेस्ट नहीं होगा. द फैक्ट स्टिल रिमेन्स कि जो आपको वहां मिल नहीं रहा है, तो टू प्रोक्योर दैट फूड इज एन एफर्ट. So you can, जब भी आप probably मम्मी के यहाँ जाएं, और when you go there you can get some food which you definitely like to eat, and probably your children will learn to eat those newer foods. Right? Because कैसे है ना, जो चीज मिलता नहीं है तो वो बनता नहीं है, उसकी टेस्ट का पता नहीं चलता, और उसको बनाने के कई तरीके हैं जो हम कभी भी सोचते भी नहीं हैं, और कुछ आगे उसके बारे में क्या बोलते हैं, we don't try to experiment with that. So it is good to experiment with food, but experiment में कैसे होता है, हम small quantities करते हैं and we realize कि ये खाने के बाद मेरी body को क्या फायदा हो रहा है. So if you are able to eat certain foods with relish and without causing any harm to your body, without having any disturbance, it's okay to consume.
Okay.
हालांकि हैदराबाद has got extreme temperatures. अभी we are just entering into the winter phase. I think धीरे धीरे ज़्यादा ठंडा हो जाएगा. I have been to Hyderabad a couple of times. The Heartfulness Mission Ashram, the headquarters is in Hyderabad. It is at Kana Shantivanam. It's close to Shegur village.
Beautiful, ma'am. It's very beautiful.
Beautiful ashram. So I have been there and I know how the weather is. I have gone in the peak of summer also, जब हमारा भंडारा होता है in April. And I have gone in the month of February also when it is really cold. So I know दोनों तरफ की temperatures होंगे. And we know India में कैसे है ना, जब ज्यादा गर्मी है तो हम particular kind of food खाते हैं. No, we try and see कि हम थोड़ा नारियल पानी include करते हैं, हम थोड़े liquids बढ़ाते हैं. We try and see कि बहुत सारा दही वगैरह का इस्तेमाल हो के cooling substances, सब्जा वगैरह का use होता है. But when it is cold, automatically we start using more of ginger and garlic and those kind of food which will help the body to remain internally heated. So these kind of variations we find in India because we have huge, what do you say, cultural diversity. We have huge temperature-wise diversity in India also. So a lot
Yes.
of us who have traveled across probably have experienced a lot of newer foods also. So अगर आप खा पाते हो, then there is no harm. But if your body denies or if your body starts throwing a tantrum to a particular food, think 2 times before you eat.
ओके, यस मैम। मैम और दो क्वेश्चन है मैम।
Yes, please.
मैम अभी डिफरेंट टाइप्स का ऑयल खा सकते क्या? मीन्स फॉर एग्जांपल अभी देखिए मैंने सब्जी बनाया, ओ कोकोनट ऑयल से बनाया, ओके, वही मैं कुछ डीप फ्राई करती हूँ, भजिया वैसे कुछ करती हूँ, वो ग्राउंडनट ऑयल में बनाया, एक ही दिन में वैसे 2 टाइप्स का कॉम्बिनेशन में हम लोग खा सकते हैं क्या, कि सेम ही खाना रहता है?
Yes, it is in fact better.
ओके,
Why it is better? क्योंकि हर एक जो वेजिटेबल ऑयल है उसका स्पेसिफिक बेनिफिट होता है. There will be different saturation of oil with different oils. और हर एक ऑयल का एक पर्टिकुलर न्यूट्रिएंट बेनिफिशियल भी रहता है, क्योंकि देयर इज मोनो अनसैचुरेशन, देयर इज एक्सट्रीम सैचुरेशन, देयर इज पॉली अनसैचुरेशन. मींस अलग अलग जो कॉम्बिनेशंस जो होते हैं, जिस तरह के उसके बॉन्ड्स होते हैं, फैट के बॉन्डिंग्स जो होते हैं, उसके हिसाब से वो फैट की बाइफरकेशन होती है. इनफैक्ट आजकल तो बहुत सारे कॉम्बाइंड ऑयल्स भी आ रहे हैं इन द मार्केट. यही कि अगर एक बंदा, मैंने अगर मेरे घर पे 5 लीटर का कैन लाया है, तो मैं जब तक वो 5 लीटर खत्म नहीं होता है तब तक मैं कुछ दूसरा नहीं खरीदती, राइट. सो देयर इज रोटेशन. लेकिन मेरे घर में मैं क्या करती हूँ, मैं 1-1 लीटर का ही पैकिंग लाती हूँ.
ऐसे करते हैं
So,
मैम।
I bring 2 liter के packing. I mean 2 liters of groundnut oil, 2 liters of rice bran oil, 1 liter of soya oil, probably half a liter of mustard oil, and I make different things with different oils. So it allows me to experiment flavors. It allows me to get the benefit of that particular oil for my body. So it's okay to take. हालांकि the fact is that खूब सारा frying एक ही oil में कर रहे हैं, ऐसा अगर हो रहा है तो you can still try and also rotate the oils after a couple of months. That also works. यानी
Now
अगर
Diwali
suppose
is there, so
हाँ
many
बहुत सारा
time
frying होने वाला है.
Diwali is just couple of days uh,
Yes.
after this. So yeah.
मैम अभी हमारे बॉडी के हिसाब से कितना प्रोटीन लेना बोल के हम लोगों को कैसे मालूम पड़ेगा मैम? अभी मतलब डेली बेसिस में कैसे, किस टाइप का रेशियो अच्छा रहेगा?
So simple अगर गिनती लगाना है तो whatever is your weight into 0.8 to 1 ग्राम पर किलोग्राम बॉडी वेट. सो अगर मेरा वजन 60 किलो है तो 48 to 60 ग्राम्स प्रोटीन मुझे रोज खाना चाहिए.
एक ही सर्विंग में खाना रहता है क्या मैम? एक करके खा सकते हैं एक
फुल
दिन
मील पूरे दिन में.
पूरे दिन में
एक ही
ऐसे?
सर्विंग में 48 ग्राम्स खाना नामुमकिन है.
यस मैम, मुश्किल हो जाती है मैम. लास्ट वन है मैम, हैदराबाद में कस्टर्ड एप्पल ज्यादा मिलता है, ओके. अभी तो इधर विंटर तो बहुत ही आया है, कभी भी कस्टर्ड एप्पल खाए तो ना वो ये जैसा थ्रोट थोड़ा ये हो जाते मैम. सो क्या कर सकते, खा सकते क्या, अवॉइड कर सकते क्या, क्या करना रहता है?
तो अगर आप कस्टर्ड एप्पल ले रहे हैं तो एक्सेसिव क्वांटिटी मत लीजिए, या यू ट्राई एंड यूज द कस्टर्ड एप्पल विथ सम अदर फ्रूट, ताकि आपको मतलब ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए कि मेरे को खाने की इच्छा हो रही थी लेकिन मैंने जरा सही खाया. कंबाइन इट विथ अदर फ्रूट विच विल जस्ट टेक केयर ऑफ दिस प्रॉब्लम. या कस्टर्ड एप्पल खाने के बाद यू स्टार्ट टेकिंग वार्म वाटर, सो विच क्लियर्स योर थ्रोट. दैट विल हेल्प.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Excuse me, ma'am. I have a question.
Yes, please.
मैम, माय सन हैज अ ड्राई स्किन. उसको ब्लिस्टर जैसा होता है ठंडी के दिनों में, अक्टूबर से स्टार्ट होता है, जैसे अभी स्टार्ट हो गया है उसका 1-2.
Okay.
और मेनली उसके पाम में रहता है.
Okay.
तो अभी कैसा है, मैंने उसको लास्ट ईयर आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर को दिखाया था.
Okay.
तो उन्होंने लेमन और पाइनएप्पल सर्टेन फ्रूट्स थे इस तरीके के, उन्होंने बिल्कुल अवॉइड करने को कहा है कि वो बिल्कुल भी नहीं खाना है.
Okay.
तो मैम जैसे मैं तो लेमन ज्यादा दे रही थी कि स्किन के लिए अच्छा होता है, तो ऐसे कुछ सर्टेन फूड कैसे वो मतलब इफेक्ट डाल सकते हैं स्किन पर? जनरली ये बोला जाता है कि लेमन विटामिन सी अच्छा होता है स्किन के लिए.
करेक्ट करेक्ट. लेकिन आपको ऐसे लग रहा है कि वो लेमन खाने के बाद ही उसको ज्यादा तकलीफ होती है, या लेमन खाने के बाद कोई तकलीफ नहीं होती? आपने तो ऑलरेडी ट्राई करा है ना उनको लेमन
हाँ हाँ,
बर्ड?
मतलब अभी वो जो सर्टेन प्रॉब्लम है ना उसकी अक्टूबर से स्टार्ट होती है, जैसे विंटर्स शुरू होते हैं। बाकी जनवरी फरवरी के बाद वो सबसाइड हो जाता है प्रॉब्लम।
ओके।
तो हाँ, तब लेमन से कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता है। वो तो डॉक्टर ने हमें सजेस्ट किया कि लेमन मत दो, पाइनएप्पल मत दो और काली मिर्च,
ओके।
ब्लैक पेपर।
सो ये फैक्टर्स तो डॉक्टर नूतन ही आपको बोल सकते हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ कि ये आयुर्वेद के हिसाब से कैसे काम करते हैं। However, lemon आप जैसे समझ रहे हो, it is definitely a vitamin C rich fruit and vitamin C के अच्छे ही benefits होते हैं क्योंकि इन्फेक्शन में भी काम आते हैं। तो आई एम श्योर डॉक्टर नूतन आप प्लीज ये क्वेश्चन लीजिए क्योंकि इट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द आयुर्वेदा फैक्टर।
Yeah, we actually in Ayurveda, what we do is we analyze first, and then recommend personally how to guide and how to go ahead. It's not the random, it's a public platform, so it's better to avoid personally. But lemon is, as you know, that it is vitamin C. Anything in excess or less can cause problem. That is what Ayurvedic fundamentals are. So we should always, our body is actually our teacher, best teacher. Our body teaches every time. Whatever symptoms come, if you have taken excess, it will show you. So you need to become aware about all those signals and just control and restrain. That is what the general instruction I can tell you as of. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So I think Ekta has some announcement.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we are launching a course by AYG, which will be a very inspiring course also for us to learn more about nutrition, because your talk was truly so inspiring. And today only we had Puneet Rajkumar sir's death by cardiac arrest, and so much is happening around. There is a hush push of 4 or 5 days. We feel we need to be conscious about our food, everything, but we forget. But today your talk was so inspiring, and since there is a course coming by AYG, which is related to diet, would surely want everybody to know more about nutrition. You must register for that course. We'll be announcing it after Diwali, the whole details, and you will find everything on our website, www.drnewton.com. So please do visit. Stay tuned for more information on that website.
So in this particular course, actually this course mainly led by Swati ji, nutritionist, whom you have heard. And yes, in that even we are adding some ancient principle Ayurveda aspect as well. So it's a combined course where the contemporary science, as our academy always does, same that principle we are following in this nutrition course as well. It will be short term 10 hours course. I think, and we are under the course is under construction, I can say. So there are not detailed, but yes, in the post Diwali, definitely it will be launched. So many queries related to diet or nutrition, it will be step by step explained in the course, where our student will get more benefited, whoever teacher or general people also. It's available for everybody. Right?
Surely we are going to register, ma'am.
It's an interactive course.
Yes, it will be. It will be interactive. So we will update you. If you are interested, please drop your messages on personal, email ID or even WhatsApp. We have official number 9821842424. You can note it down and drop your question there. Swati ji, do you want to say anything about it?
So basically, as I said, there is so much of science around nutrition and food. If we know it right, it just allows us to, use the concept, the principles in our daily living. And this daily living is not just about me, right? It's all about me and people who I love. Okay? Because if I'm going to be the lady of the house, I'm going to actually experiment in my kitchen. Okay? Every day, morning to evening, at least I spend about 4 hours in my kitchen, and I see that how beautifully different things are made there. There are times when you don't have ideas, but when you stand next to your platform, ideas just start coming because अच्छा आज के सुबह में इस तरीके का खाना बना था, so ये वाला aspect इस पे नहीं आया था. So then you start seeing के evening time के meal में there is something which just comes together and takes care of whatever is the overall need for everybody's body. So if I learn something for myself, I'm able to understand the value that every food can give to me. And this probably can help, creating a healthy family. And if you learn, I'm sure, anything that you learn and you experiment and you benefit, you don't stop at yourself, right? If I know particular things, I will always want to go out and out and share it with people whom I know. So if I have learned something, I definitely want my sister to know. I definitely want my sister-in-law also to know that what I am doing. Correct? So if we are able to share these kind of learnings, it benefits not just, again, I said, not just your family, but people who are all around you and who make a difference to your life. Imagine if if a third friend is unwell, am I going to feel good? But if I knew that she's unwell because probably she didn't eat something right, or she had a possibility of eating something right and curing whatever is going wrong with her, I would want to still go out and tell her, right? So if I know, then I can tell her. So similarly, these are, things, small things. If you start learning yourself, you enrich your own, what do you say, being. And this enrichment goes a very long way. Like, as I said, the baby learns something in the womb and it keeps on going generations together, right? So same thing, if I learn something today, I'm going to teach my children, and my children, whoever have understood whatever I have said, will carry it to their future generations. So anything that we learn never goes waste. So that's how I feel, sharing is caring, and let's all share together.
Thank you so much. And Sri Vidya has a question next.
Yes, Sri Vidya ji.
Doctor, what I've seen is there's a lot of contradiction even between nutritionists and Ayurveda doctors. This is my personal experience because I have arthritis.
Okay.
And there is one nutritionist who will tell me, you should have, your plate should have at least 5 fruits at one go. The other one will tell me, no, you eat only one fruit at a time. And one person will tell me, no, you should be totally off dairy and you should go for completely plant-based. But the other one will tell me, no, milk is very important for your bone health. I feel it's so much contradiction, as Dr. Nutan was just telling, you have to observe. That is what I've started doing. I observe, I see what suits me. So I feel I'm my own master. So I just want your take on that.
Exactly. So, as you rightly said, it is very individual. No two human beings can ever be exactly the same, right? At a cellular level, I am different from somebody else. So my body is going to behave a little different than anybody else. And only I will know, okay, after eating a particular food, what is happening to me, right? Tomorrow, if you and I sit at the same time, probably I think you and I may be quite similar in terms of our height, weight, overall physical parameters, right? But if you and I eat the same food, is it that we will get the same benefit out of it? Maybe or may not be, right? Because there will be something which is already underlying. Since you mentioned that you have difficulty with arthritis, I may not have difficulty with arthritis. The food will behave differently for me. Right. Probably the bone density that I have is different than what you have. Probably the amount of vitamins D that I am able to derive and utilize is different than what you are able to do so. So, the body has its own ways of utilizing what is being consumed also. Maybe if somebody has said ki milk khane se your bones will get better, but it's not like milk is going to get poured into your bones. It has to get digested, it has to get utilized to show its benefit. So how much of it is going to help you may be different from some other person. So all as Dr. Nutan very rightly also said, is it's a lot of things are all individualized. It cannot be one size fits all. Like, if there are 4 people who are 60 kgs or who are 80 kgs in weight and all of them want to come and lose weight with me, the same typical diet plan may not work for each one. Somebody would have already tried intermittent fasting and they are coming to me. Somebody would have tried something else, fasting for 8 days and they are coming to me. Somebody who's eating to glory and then she is coming to me. So the diet plan which has to start is going to be from where they are or what stage they are in. And that's how it helps a person. Like, I mean, I cannot do the same 1600 wala plan ya 1800 calorie wala plan sabko de do. It doesn't work like that. I have to understand what your body demands are, and specifically prepare something which works for you. I hope I've answered your question, Mrs.
Yeah.
Srividya.
Yeah. Thank you so much, doctor.
You're welcome.
I think now we should, it's a time, only 5 minutes, so we can finish.
Yes, so I would truly want to thank you from behalf of all of us today, especially for your presence. Out of all these days, I saw you on all the 4 days, which shows your eagerness to learn more and more. All the 3 days, last 3 days, you were there, and you were, very much a part of the Chaturmas program. If on behalf of everyone, I would just want to appreciate and express our heartfelt thanks for your presentation. The biggest takeaway from all of this was that we have to work on the 3 body levels: physical, mental, and spiritual. And I had a question personally to know your personal secret of your skin, because honestly, when I saw 25 years of experience, I was like, you don't even look 25 when we look at your skin. So your decades of research, your depth of understanding of nutrition and spirituality, and your ability to present the subject in such an interesting way produced one of the most memorable evenings in the history of our first foundation year celebration of Chaturmas learning. I personally appreciated your approach to anticipate the audience curiosity and answer those questions in such a simple demeanor, and your beautiful oratory skills and simplicity was truly charming. And the subject has definitely intrigued us to plan and receive more on this. So we are definitely registering for this course, ma'am. Surely.
Sure. Waiting
So,
to handhold you all further.
definitely, ma'am. And now I would request the audience, those who could partake the essence of these Chaturmas programs for the last 3-4 days, maximum number of days. I can see some faces there. So if you could share a small brief experience of how it was as an overall learning, it would be great. Anyone can volunteer, please. Arya.
People have so less, patience. They immediately start going out once. So before we finish, we can announce that, and that our courses which are starting now, prenatal, postnatal, on 13th October and 15th November, regarding this prenatal postnatal yoga, which is ongoing and signature course of AYG. So I request whoever not done it, this course, we have many past students, some of them are present even in this particular Chaturmas program, so they can share their feedback for others to know regarding this program as well as prenatal. So yes, Srividya, I guess, raised hand. Yes, and Sheetal also. Yeah, thank you. Both of them can just share this.
What the very good aspect of Dr. Nutan's program, I did my prenatal and postnatal with Dr. Nutan in May. It was very interesting, and after that I've been attending most of her courses. I myself am a yoga therapist, and the beauty is, like, in yoga we always focus, especially in therapy, we focus on the 5 layers of human existence. So all these programs, every time when I attend, there is so much to learn. Like we had Dr. Avinash, today we are having Dr. Swati. So, everything, like what for me, the takeaway is your mind, your body, that mind-body complex. How much ever you can go out, you can seek help, no doubt, but you have to work on yourself if your mind-body complex has to be stable. And it's not just learning, the application, because, for example, for me, I always take it that way. Before I speak to my client, I always ask this question to myself: am I following it? Like, because when you preach, you have to practice it, and the influence on your client will be different. So this is always has been the takeaway. Like I always admire Dr. Nutan. Like what I've seen is she is very light and spontaneous, which I really like in her. Like she doesn't think or she doesn't prepare it. Like it's very obvious. She speaks her heart. That is, as a student of Dr. Nuthan, that was my first takeaway when I did my prenatal and postnatal with her. So I really thank Dr. Nuthan. She's giving us different platforms, and there is so much learning. This knowledge is never ending. I once again, from the bottom of the heart, thank you, Dr. Nuthan. It's been a pleasure being a student.
Thank you so much, Srividya. We could coherently, we could reverberate with what you are saying. Totally agree. We have Sheetal Chauhan also who wants to say something. Sheetal ji, yes, please.
First of all, a very good evening to everyone, and special thanks to AYG Academy and Dr. Nuthan. I did the prenatal course in the month of August. I'm a yoga teacher and I'm currently pursuing MSc, and it really helped me a lot. And I must know whoever is attending, whoever on there in this platform, I would recommend to do them this course, pre and postnatal. It is an amazing. It's a combination and amalgamation of the Ayurvedic and the modern things and what we need to apply in our current times. So it's a very enlightening course and in-depth knowledge and enriching. And it's really nice of Dr. Nuthan of, I'm attending this Chaturmas for the first time. I just attended yesterday. Dr. Mona's lecture was very nice. And today's this lecture was also very nice. It was Swatiji has explained. I mean, whenever we fall sick, हम कभी भी डॉक्टर के पास भी जाएंगे, whatever we do, तो normally diet पे भी हमारा बहुत focus होता है. It's 80% of the diet, and it's very important that what we cook, and especially the lady needs to be educated. So हमको सब कुछ पता है, लेकिन अभी इतना ocean of knowledge हो गया, तो उसका I would say भी उसका filtration का भी knowledge हमको मालूम होना चाहिए, what is good and what is bad. So many things are available. Last 2 pandemics like internet, Facebook is flooded. It's over flooded. So now even if we have developed our intellectual buddhi, but that has to be also at a higher level ki what is right and wrong. वो भी उसका भी filtration होना चाहिए. So I think it's high time we connect and get back to our ancient root, connecting our heritage, and that is the base. India has so many things, so I mean, and nothing best than Ayurveda. So special thanks to AYG Academy and Dr. Nuthan and all the eminent speakers. And Ekta, you have been a wonderful host. I just loved. It was very nice. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sheetal ji. It was totally what we could relate to. And honestly, it's very true what you said. And that is why today's topic was integrating the whole of the learning. And she has very well explained how to integrate. So much of takeaway from today's session. And personally, though I'm a host, but I would, from my heart, would like to share my 4 days of experience with all the eminent speakers, that it was such an enriching experience for me. I am taking away on a whole so much of wisdom and pearls of knowledge. Can't thank Dr. Nuthan and AYG Academy enough for what they have given us. It is truly selfless. उनकी निष्काम कर्म, निष्काम सेवा के कारण ही आज हम लोग इतना कुछ घर समेट के जा रहे हैं. That is what I can say from the bottom of my heart. Such a lovely experience, and truly honored to be a part and a host for this show. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much indeed. It was lovely. And
thank you, Ekta.
Yes. Just one thing to add is I would also like to thank the entire audience who attended this. Thank you for your energy, for your time. Without you all, we are nothing. AYG is nothing without all of you and your support. And keep continuing to give your support for all the courses, everything that we are offering, because we truly do it from the bottom of our heart. That ma'am is, as I said in the beginning, she's a person with heart of gold. So she's offering everything with selfless motive. She's messaging us again and again. Who does that in today's era? Just give the program, give the advertisement, done. But she's messaging each of us so that we can take maximum output from this and input in us. So download and uploading should happen together. So let us all do it together. And thank you very much, Dr. Nuthan, once again.
Yes, thank you, Ekta, and all the participants, and mainly our speaker today, special speaker today, Swati ji. So what I want to say, many people have requested me for recordings. So recordings will be given definitely. We don't want to hold on even that, but please understand that there will be nominal fees which will be there, and we are updating everything on our website. So that link will be shared. Whoever feels like you want all those 4 session which we had now, or if you have missed last 3 months recordings, if you want that too, Ayurveda related, first discourse was on Ayurveda, second was on Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and third was mainly, we had lot of speaker coming in, different speaker coming in, and it's related to means pregnancy care. And then fourth one, which was again related to pregnancy and childbirth healthcare, and the topics were truly discovered, found out, research, and then put forward. And mainly our speakers are very very eminent speaker, known renowned speakers were there, and they have definitely given a lot of time and effort for us here. So I would also want to give them also some token of love from AYG, from where I could give it. So if you can share through having these recordings, I may have been giving back to those speakers and investing in the tech support. That's it. I do not want to earn anything out of it. This is just the service I want to do for all the people who are my student, who are not even my student, but they want to learn. So these freely live sessions are there. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And please provide your feedbacks for these sessions. It is a form of gratitude to provide the feedback. So thank you so much once again. Do provide your feedbacks. We'll just end it with Om Shanti. Sorry for going on board the time today, but since it was the last day, let's stay connected. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently rub the palms, place it over the eyes, and slowly open the eyes gently in the palms. Thank you so much once again.